Wake up to reality. You crave power. Everything you do is in hopes that it brings you more power. The money you make, your studies, and the weight you lift, it is all for power. And yet, people will pretend it isn't true. Most people are powerless worms that pretend they are too moral to seek power. Pathetic. We all want more power without exception, but power has a bad reputation. People are reluctant to talk about it, and ambition for power is considered taboo. This is not done by accident. Making the search for power a taboo is the best way to keep people powerless. But power is so essential that without it, you can affect nothing, do nothing, and change nothing. If you are tired of being powerless or want to gain more power, you are at the right place. I will teach you 4 strategic ways to gain power as a man. Number 1, pick your words. Everyone knows words carry weight, but what does it actually mean? Language is both expressive and constructive of reality, meaning you shape your own version of reality with your words. However, if you are not aware of the words you use, it can be used against you. Let me explain how it works with a simple example. Listen. One of the most feminine countries in the world is the Netherlands. And here's what's interesting about it. When a woman gets pregnant in the Netherlands, they don't just refer to the woman as pregnant. They actually refer to both the woman and the man as pregnant. You will find men saying, "We are pregnant." If you use the slightest bit of common sense, you would instantly see how flawed it is to refer to the couple as pregnant instead of just the woman. If the woman were to die, suddenly no one is pregnant anymore. But if the man were to die, nothing changes about the pregnancy. I should not even have to explain why the concept is garbage. But here's what's important. Equality is such a big concept in the Netherlands that this terminology is normal for Dutch people. If you were to live there and get used to speaking their language, you may subconsciously get pressured into using the same terminology, which further enforces the idea that men and women are the same. Even if you know men and women are not the same, using their words will shape the opposite reality. That is why it is extremely important to choose your words carefully. If you know there are only 2 genders instead of 500, why would you ever use terms like cisgender or other words that are made up? Not only do you make their idea a reality, you also set yourself up to be destroyed in a debate. You see, when someone baits you into using their words, you are playing on their terms. And when you get people to use your choice of words, you hold a degree of power over them. More on the art of speaking will be covered in the future. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. Number 2, never appear too perfect. This is where we have seen Andrew Tate mess up. Much of what Andrew Tate did was play a character, and the character he portrayed appeared to be flawless. There's a lesson to be learned here. Tate never mentioned having any flaws or shortcomings. Instead, he made everything seem effortless and made it appear as if he outperforms every man on the face of the planet. Do not misunderstand it. Making your efforts seem effortless is an effective strategy, and Tate used it well along with other strategies for power. But it does not mean you should appear to be perfect. Humans are flawed and always will be. So when you appear to be perfect, people will want to test it. It makes you a target to lurking enemies in the shadows. Now, you can beat them to the punch by admitting some minor imperfections. A good example of someone who does this well is David Goggins. This man is regarded as the mentally toughest man in the world. Whether he actually is the toughest man or not does not matter. What's more important is that he admits to having moments of weakness. You will hear him mention how there are moments where he struggles putting on his shoes on days he doesn't feel like running. This makes him a relatable human like everybody else, and it lowers the number of enemies that envy him. Number 3, detach. There is great power in detachment, meaning you should know when to take a step back and disengage from a situation. For example, if there's a problem that needs to be solved, take a step back. Bumping your head against an obstacle will not make it go away. But if you take a step back, you are able to get a broader view of what is going on, giving you the ability to figure out a solution. It is much the same reason why you will see artists take a step back from their painting. They broaden their viewpoint instead of zooming in on it. This gives them more clarity to create their art. The same goes for when you are getting emotional. Detach from your emotions. Take a step back and try to see why you are feeling these emotions and where it leads you if you let the emotions control you. When you disengage from a situation, you create perspective awareness. Sometimes this means taking a step back in your mind, and sometimes it actually means physically taking a step back in order to create a broader viewpoint. Number 4, use people's emotions to your advantage. Most people are a slave to their emotions. They have no emotional control. This means that if you can figure out what makes them emotional, you become the master of their emotions. And by extension, this makes you a master over them. If your enemy is quick to anger, seek to irritate him, not in a way where you become his target, but in a way where his anger will either help you or self-destruct him. His anger will turn into your weapon if you know how to use it correctly. I have spoken many times about the importance of emotional control on this channel and about how many people lack basic understanding of emotions. But people's lack of emotional control actually turns into an advantage once you know how to use their emotions against them. Do not let an outburst of emotions go by unnoticed. Make notes of it, even if it's just in your head. This information can always be used to your advantage in the future. By the way, if you want to level up in life, don't forget to show some love by hitting the like and subscribe button. Until next time.